What up, FIFA Tiers, and welcome to the Free Foot Tiers podcast. I just want to do a quick shout out to Adam, who I played in the Brazil Cup on FIFA last night. He is a listener of the podcast and he messaged me recognizing me. So a big, massive shout out to you. And today I am joined by Brad, and Luke has returned to the podcast. And we have also got a special guest. That is right. We have got another guest. That is 3 weeks in a row. And today's guest is LewOnOne. How are you doing, Lew?
I'm doing fantastic, mate. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Brad and Luke, how are you both doing?
Yeah, other than being a bit clammy due to this weather, I'm good.
Oh, I'm doing fairly well, mate.
I mean, it's not as bad as last week, though. So
Yeah, it's pretty muggy today here, or certainly where I am anyway.
it is, but the temperature last week was just
it was unbearable. Yeah.
I saw the clips. I saw what you went through.
It's fine. You weren't on a coach at that time last week.
Oh, yes. How was your trip to Manchester?
It was decent, but yeah, not a fan of coaches, especially when the aircon's out.
Yeah, not the best. Not the best. I think I was on a coach not that long ago for a school trip, and went back to return to the coach, and yeah, it was just unbearably hot, and that was when it was 25 or 26, something like that. So can't imagine what it would have been like with an extra like 10 plus degrees added on top of that.
Yeah, it was only on the way there it didn't work, but it was still hell. Still terrible.
But we are in Futties week 2, and this week's theme has got a Brazilian flair to it. So last week we had 3 players to vote for. So there was Pato, we had, oh my god, how can I forget them already? Rafinha, yeah, and some guy.
Fiorentina striker.
Yeah,
Cabral.
some Florentine.
Arthur Cabral, the guy
Arthur
at the
Cabral.
SBC earlier in the year.
Guys helping me out right here. But in the end, Rafinha won in top place, so he came out on Friday, and we've had Pato come out last night. And for those that are complaining about Pato, I don't understand it right. He can strong link to the other Brazilian footy cards that have come out, so there's no issues with that, and he looks like a pretty decent card. Is again, they're all around that sort of like 95 rating mark, and the SBCs aren't too expensive as well, which is very good because of the amount of content that is coming out right now. But what are we making of the footy cards that are coming out and all the content that we've got at our disposal right now? Lou, do you want to chip in?
I'll go on, I'll go first. I really like it. I only just found out you can link footies to footies as well. So they didn't have that last year, did they? The links to each other, but I think I like that a lot. I think it makes it more fun to link them up, but I like the daily 85s. I know we struggled a lot with the team of the season cards and the team of the week cards, but we've refilled the clubs, ready for more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once it turns into that unlimited 85 plus, that's when it's going to be euphoria on FIFA, basically.
It's when hell breaks loose.
It's when I can get my 95 plus gas finally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I like I said, I think the crown thing or the premium footies idea has meant I don't get that thing with Pato either, because he strong links to Lodi, Cunha and Rafinha. They've all got premium footy cards, haven't they? So
yes,
there's 3 footy cards there, 2 which are free or cost you your time, that you can strong link him to. So yeah, I think I voted for him. He looks like a good card. I've always enjoyed him in previous FIFAs. So yeah, I really like that premium thing. I think that would be nice if they introduced that into a promo next year. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
You don't want it too early because obviously it's quite a niche thing, quite a unique thing. But it would be quite good if they introduced it at another time as well as Heroes, where you could use them, some sort of obscure players that get put into, like maybe if they did it with like they did the featured team of the week, maybe if they just did a featured premium team of the week, like one player in there that could link elsewhere, that would maybe spike some interest in team of the week cards, because they don't do anything other than provide SBC fodder, do they? Generally.
It was really good though, to be fair.
I mean, the only thing is one thing I'd have to say is we'll discuss this a bit further along the lines with FIFA 23 is now being announced about changes to the mechanics on FIFA Ultimate Team. So having this sort of style of chemistry next FIFA isn't going to matter so much, but we'll discuss that a bit more down the line. Luke, your thoughts, feelings?
I mean, I really do like that Pato cards. The Rafinha, for anyone who didn't take Kimpembe from their shapeshifters, or not shapeshifters, from the Summer Stars tokens, this is your new PSG Strong Link, basically. It's nice. I like the concept of premiums. It makes it so easy to Strong Link certain cards. Even if you go into just MLS, there's still some decent MLS cards. Dempsey, Lundberg, that you can use Pato with. Heck, if you're playing a 4-3-2-1, you can just Strong Link him to Mukhtar and go Bundesliga.
I mean, the thing is if you've done all of the premium footies, the objectives, and any of the SBCs, all we need now is 2 centre-backs and a goalkeeper, and you could basically have a full starting 11 with them. I mean, technically speaking, you can have a full starting 11 of footies cards right now, but we haven't had any centre-backs or a goalkeeper right now. But once they've arrived, that's it. You can basically use a full squad, and it doesn't matter what the league is, what nation, you can just basically just use them and have a bit of fun. The thing is this week with the objective cards of Renan Lodi and Mateus Cunha, I think those two are actually really good in game. Whereas in like last week, I haven't used Mount, but I don't rate that Reece James card that very well. Yeah. Whereas I quite actually like this week's objective players.
Well, what about that Reece James do you not like? I'm interested. What feels off?
I don't know what it is. It's just like in game, they're just it feels like he's not in the right places. There just feels something off about him. It's a bit of the weird sort of situation. You can't really explain it, but when you're playing the game, you can feel it. Like he's not as good as, say, some of the other right backs that I've used. Like my team of the year Hakimi or the Shapeshifters Quattro. But yeah, he doesn't seem to perform as well as those two.
Yeah, I mean, he directly knocked out my FUT birthday Fredericks, who I've had since that SBC came out. He just seems and feels miles better. It's like more up to the pace of the game now. But then that FUT birthday Fredericks, I suppose, was a little while ago.
I've been using that, like I did them both on like my RTG account. I don't know why, but it's like you said, I don't like James. It feels like he's pulling a trailer to me, considering he's got like 97 pace. That Mount card though is really good. I really enjoy that card. I really like it. Really good fun.
Yeah, that Mount definitely gave me some trouble.
Yeah, he's like you said, he can play anywhere. Like midfield, he can play out wide, play up front if you really needed him to. It's just really useful to have in your club.
Then going into some of the objectives and the friendlies for this week. So we've got the Brazil-themed Brazil Cup for footies objectives. This week they've upped the ante by 1 for the full amount. So you have to get 27 wins out of 35 games if you play the maximum 5 games per day limit that you get on it. And the fact that the requirements for it is a bit more relaxed. Yes, you have to use a full Brazil team, but I think generally speaking that's not too hard. Whereas in last week's cup, where it had to be 18 players from the same club, was just a little bit too ridiculous, especially even at this stage of FIFA.
Well, it just did what everyone would expect it to do, didn't it? Hoik the prices up for players, and you needed to buy like non-common golds for 10k, and at this point people are sinking their money into SBCs to try and get some premium players. They probably haven't even got say you had to buy 5 of them, it's 50k, isn't it?
Yeah. BPM paid it though. BPM was brilliant. But
I bet it was.
Nah. Yeah. Like you said, it's good fun, stuff like that. They did it earlier in the year, didn't they? With you had to use one club for one of the objectives, and it is good fun. Don't get me wrong, but like you said, it just absolutely moons players' prices.
I mean, speaking of bronze pack method, they've got the silvers squad, but not bronze this time. Friendly, it's now gold versus silver. However, It sounds like, oh my god, that's going to be a slaughter fest for the silvers. No, they put a cap on it for the gold. So it was a maximum of 88 rated players. Only team of the weeks, and what was it
Gold
again?
rares.
Gold rares.
Yep, so no
There you
special cards.
No
No
special
loans.
cards. Yeah, zero
No
loans.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, nothing.
So it's the thing, like it's another one of those things where because people are sending their clubs dry, really, unless you're now prepared to go and mock up some 82 plus picks and try and get some better players, you're kind of having to use the 82s and 81s that at the start of the game were maybe a bit meta, but right now they sit as like below the meta of the silver stars cards or your special cards, silver cards, because those cards are more like 84s, 85s, 86s, you know, depending on what ones they are. I mean, if I just now look at this and take my Shapeshifters Doumbia with 93 pace, 86 dribble, and 87 shoot, and 91 pass, and 4-star, all the right stuff, and he's going to come up against, you know, probably like a left back Digne or, you know, a very average kind of person at left back, and you think, well, yeah, I fancy my chances more with a silver special team than I do with a standard gold rare.
I've been ignoring silver stars for the past like 2 or 3 months. So
Yeah.
You all laughed
Like
at
that's
me.
the thing. Unless you did some of those SBCs at around that time, you know, with Pogba, De Bruyne, and such.
Yeah.
Like most people, if they didn't commit to it, like me, as I now look at my screen, I've got Alanga, I've got I've got all them sort of, what were these ones called? Silver Star. They've got like the grey card, so it's like Alanga, Talas Magno, the Leech guy, Malqui. I've got them. I've got Dini. I've got the 2 team of the weeks from the first 2 silver stars, Olsen and Sulemana, and then I've got Doumbia Shapeshifter. The rest of my team is silver res, whereas most people's full lineup and bench will be silver stars cards.
I remember when you guys laughed at me for this stuff earlier in the year. I remember this fondly.
Yeah.
And well,
Yeah.
who's laughing
Yeah.
now, guys?
yeah, you've got the last
You
laugh
got
on this
the
situation.
literally the last laughed in the
It's
end
the
of
end
July.
of July, but yeah.
I had the laugh during the bronze one as well, but still.
Yeah.
That will be mainly it for the Futties talk for this week, but there's been some other new stuff in the past week on FIFA 22. So Luke, you're going to discuss that?
Yeah, I am. And how I'm absolutely fuming again with season rewards. They have one job each time, and they just keep sticking to the formula of, well, I think we should release yet another Portuguese League CDM. Ah, brilliant. Genius. What next? Another Dutch League striker. Round of applause. Anything else? We'll ignore the other league, actually. We'll go for another Portuguese League player. Okay. Yeah, no worries. So, at the moment, we've got... I'm going to try and pronounce this Canadian's name. Steven Estaquio. A very average looking 89 rated card at this point in FIFA. 3-star, 4-star. Not really looking like it's worth your time. Next up, we've got a Pacey Winger. 4-star, 4-star. 5'9", medium. Again, these cards are nothing special. 99 agility, 97 balance looks good. But who's a left winger in the Portuguese league anyway? Rafa's not on that side, he's on the right. But I'm sure there's someone on the left that will do a better job than this guy. And then Veerman looks like a slightly better version of Linson, who I did last month. And it's 3-star, 4-star, so Seb Haller literally dwarfs this card already. Specialized is probably better than it. And then we move to level 30 where, you know, you hear the names and you think, oh, there's some hope. There's a little bit of hope here. And you hear, oh, Higuain, sure. Diangana, sure. Nainggolan, great. But then they set the hope on fire by not actually doing much with them. So Higuain's still 3-star, 4-star. Diangana's 4-star, 3-star. Nainggolan's 3-star, 4-star. You see them each week. They decide to just randomly throw out 5-star skills or 5-star weak foot or something interesting to some of these cards. And they still just leave this with 3-star, 4-star on a Nainggolan card. People are crying out for this to have a flashback during the Pro League Team of the Season. to be flashing back to when he was Club 90, 9 goal and gang. And for him to be 3-star, 4-star at this point in FIFA, 90 rated, it's an insult. At least make these cards worthwhile. People, who's realistically grinding outside of me and a few other people to level 30? And when you see this as the end result, it's a kick in the face. On
that left-hand side, there's only 2 tradable cards that are like at this stage in the game potentially usable, and that is the Future Stars Darwin Núñez, who obviously has his striker card at Tots, and the other one is Ricardo Horta. Tots.
Tots.
Other than that, all the others are SPCs.
Basically, for level 15, it's take Vidigal and then take your pick. Higuain's the highest rated. I'm sure I'll still do 2 reviews and make something of them, but yeah, it's not pretty, to say the least.
No. And you've got to remember, the level 30, right? If you do happen to grind as quick as you possibly can, you're talking about the middle of August to unlock them as well. And at that point, we've then talking about us being 4 weeks into Futties and all the other cards that they've released up to that point. So that's even more competition. That makes these cards look even more pathetic in some ways. And yeah, it's or even if you don't grind it as quick as you possibly can, you're talking about the end of August. So there you go. So at that point, they probably might have done dusted with Futties and then released another new sort of temporary promo or SBC style post Futties promo where they're releasing the 98, 99 rated cards, because there's still that to come, because as I'm saying, Futties at the moment is in that region of 95. We still haven't actually physically seen, outside of Shapeshifters, any more 99, 98 rated cards, and we know that EA are going to be releasing those, because they always do tend to at this sort of stage of FIFA release those like really proper end game fun cards, because EA are trying to make us all happy. So yeah, these cards are just not really worth doing. And with Pato as well for Higuain, if you only want one striker formation, why go and grind out Higuain when you can have Pato who can link to all the other footy premium cards?
Plus he's Brazilian, so you've always got that link as well. I just feel like they've got so much opportunity with these like cards. You can throw off leagues in, boost them up to like 5-star skills, weak foot, and just like you said, it's just so repetitive now. I don't know what they're trying to get.
This is, I think, about the 4th or 5th CDM from the Portuguese league, about the 4th attacker, maybe not striker, maybe the 3rd striker, because there was like Sylar, Linson, this one that's currently out. I've gone off the menu, so I've already forgotten his name. It's just the same people. The only variance sometimes is in level 30, and even then, what is there? But at least now, if you decide to play Higuain centre mid, you can strong link into your Kieran Gibbs. So there's that always. So who really won here?
But do we think like what at this point, like what do we want to see from it? Do we want to see that because they're going so hard for Futties that they make some objective Futties cards? Or maybe they make some of the cards that like you have a Futties team, but you also then have a Futties players in the objectives. So say like they decided, I don't know, just because I've just got him in my 85 times 10. Say Alphonso Davies' card was like level 15. His team, so you can now achieve them cards by doing that, rather than be trying to bring up other cards to make them fit or work.
So do you mean like how last year there was every version of Ferland Mendy, so the footman or whatever year was, the Futties, then the Footmas, then it went to Foot Birthday, Futties, Better Futties, that sort of thing. Oh yeah, that could work.
That was objective, wasn't it, for men? That was an objective, wasn't it?
It was an objective.
That wasn't the season,
That was 25 game objectives, I think, in August, July time.
Yeah, I've got to say, I do like the way that they've done this year's Futties objectives with the fact that you can get 2 cards within, what, like an hour if you're really good,
Yeah.
2 hours if you're an average,
Yeah.
on FIFA.
I'm eternally
So,
grateful.
yeah.
Considering last year I did those objectives on the Friday night and was up to about 11. Yeah, I'm grateful to not have to grind that much for a 95 Adama or a 90, however much it was, a towel or anything like that. I'm just glad that that's out the way. They've got rid of that. They've gone, screw that noise. Here's about 10 games.
I was worried about that personally, like in the last promo where he was just playing game after game after game for like these cards. Now
To
they've
get the
limited
tokens,
to like
yeah.
say a couple of an hour, maybe hour and a half. Yim's done, Yim's sorted. It's so much better. I think like you don't want to be playing like, you know, God knows how many games in July. Do you unlock a card you're probably going to put into an SBC?
Yeah.
I prefer it this way personally.
Yeah, because that was for some of the cards, like to get the tokens as well. So it was
Yeah,
like
it was
the
the
it was like the
tokens,
Laney
yeah.
shapeshifters to get a
That
token
was it, yeah.
plus
Delaney.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah, I stayed well clear of that. I'm telling you.
I did that and I then SBC'd him. I never SBC cards, but I was that bitter. I just decided, screw this. I don't care enough.
I think that's enough of FIFA 22 chat. What about FIFA 23, Brad?
FIFA 23. So obviously we talked last week, cover stars. So Sam Kerr, Kylian Mbappe. So that's a new thing. Obviously we probably expected Mbappe to be on there, but nice to see them branching out. We've then got the return of Juventus. So no more Piemonte Calcio. They have bought the rights off Konami, and Juventus will be back next year, just in time for Pogba to make his resurgence back in that squad. But there are some other things to come from it as well. So we've got some new heroes announced on the EA Sports website. We have Yaya Toure, which a lot of people I noticed this year when Heroes was first talked about were crying out for this card. And I don't blame them. Like when I think of like top midfielders in the Premier League during their time there, he definitely springs to mind. The other one, Park Ji-sung, I mean, he was definitely he was good for Man United, but I wonder if there is maybe somebody else there that maybe fits the profile. And then we've got Carvalho as well, who obviously had quite a long run was it Chelsea?
Chelsea, yeah.
So there's a few there. That's 3 Premier League heroes announced. So I guess they're going to probably introduce maybe. Well, it seems I think they'd be hard pushed to maybe get 3 per league if they were going to do the top 5 leagues. But certainly, it looks like they're probably going to gradually announce these. What do you think of those 3 cards and thoughts on whether they were deserved? Is there anyone you could think is better?
I just really, I like, don't get me wrong, I love the 3 players, different players than you normally see. Obviously everyone cried out for the Yaya and stuff like that, but I just hope they don't butcher them like they did Paul Scholes' card, like Kaka's card. Like, give Yaya Toure that prime season at Man City card, if you know what I mean. I know they want to, you know, limit it a little bit so they're not crazy, but I just hope they don't stop the card at the beginning. You know, when you pack like a Scholes or a Littman and you think it's not really an icon, but it's an, you know what I mean? I just hope they don't kill the card off straight away.
That's the thing though, is heroes as well, so they're not going to be like extra juiced up on terms of the ratings, because I think at the best you might be looking at 90 as being the highest rating, because who was the highest rated normal hero card? Because I know
Was it Ginola?
Ginola was
Ginola
89 rated.
Yeah.
I think Di Natale's was 88.
87 or 88? No, 88, yeah. 88.
Yeah. So you can't expect them to be higher than that, especially when obviously it's at the start of the game, so they don't want to make the cards too OP. But then obviously as time goes on, they could do exactly what they've done with the heroes this year, which is obviously re-release them in FUT captains and then shapeshifters with even more juiced up versions. Yaya Toure, I think people might complain a little bit because they might have said that they would have preferred him to be a icon card, but with the whole changes to next year, I don't think that's really going to make too much of a difference, because as long as you've got players, 3 players from the same league.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it's one of those things where I suppose their only argument might be that if you think of heroes being tied to the league, with the exception of shapeshifter promos, and icons being like their whole career, then a hero card, I suppose, does make more sense for Yaya. But I can see, before heroes, we didn't have that concept, so yes, he was probably shoo-in for an icon at some point. But now they've got this, and it's like these people were an icon of that league, then I suppose he does fit that bill, whereas other people went off and had careers at other clubs where they were still very successful. I know there are still a couple of one-club players in icons, but that's because they've been in the game a while once again before FUT Heroes came in, so maybe they would have actually been a FUT Hero nowadays. But I just find that I think the weirdest one I find there is the Park song. I just wonder if there is, like, we'd have to go away and have a little think, I suppose, but I just wonder if there is someone a little bit better, but you know, he's going to give you a hyperlink to Humans on. So
he will. I think, to be fair, I think he's exactly the kind of player that deserves a hero. Park Ji-sung.
Yeah.
Considering Alex Ferguson rates him highly enough that he said that he made the mistake in a Champions League final.
Yeah.
He should have got him to man mark Messi, and then they'd have won the Champions League final. To Alex Ferguson's words, the man's criminally underrated as a midfielder, and he's probably a better profile of a midfielder than Clint Dempsey, who is already a FUT hero. So I think he's a perfect fit.
Do you not wish, though, that they branched... I'm not going to say branched out as much, but, you know, we don't see many right-backs. We don't... You know, I mean, there's plenty of midfielders, I personally think, especially right mids from Icons Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Be nice to have... I'm just going to say, like, one top mid, like a Leighton Baines or a Glenn Johnson. You know what I mean? Like an actual, you know,
Glenn
more
Johnson.
usable fullback, maybe.
That's a name. That's a name.
Yeah, I've thrown one on the table there, I know.
Leighton Baines, I definitely could see being a candidate for a left back one, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think he's never enough for an icon, but hero.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
In line for down the line.
It's just 2 that come into my head straight. I don't know why. I just thought I went to Liverpool apparently for a weekend.
Glenn Johnson.
But,
that's a name I remember being in many a sweat squad.
Yeah. Well, we had Gary Neville for a bit, didn't we? But he's disappeared. Yeah.
That's exactly where you bring him and Cara back in. That's
Gary. Yeah.
I remember packing that in a 100k pack and discarding it because it was worth discard value.
Oh god, Beerhoff was another one.
Beerhoff, Pauletta, Paulo Futre. I could go for a bit on them. I could go for a bit on old school icons.
He's got the list ready, hasn't
legends, Sorry, not icons.
Yeah, he's legends. Damn.
But yeah, it's a shame they removed players like Brem. He was sort of the left back that went, the left wing back, the German.
Is there any other like leagues you'd like to see? Like, I don't know. We've only got Prem out at the minute, hasn't it? That's just been announced, the 3 Prem.
Yeah, the only one that's been announced so far. I mean, we'll obviously get, I imagine, the top 5.
Yeah, La Liga.
Yeah.
Whether they decide to branch out, probably not. I suppose top 5 is where their money is made, isn't it?
No, they'll branch out a little bit. Let's not forget they've got a couple of MLS now.
Couple of MLS players.
Jabba. They've got a couple sporadically around, so I think they'll throw another 1 or 2 in there.
Have a feeling the roster of heroes is going to probably more than double.
Oh, I would say so.
Yeah.
You'd
And
a good chunk.
And I suppose the other thing as well is that we don't know is whether there's going to be whether the heroes that are in this year's are going to actually be in next year's. Obviously, they tend to sometimes take out a couple of icons, don't they? And like replenish with about 20 icons. But whether they'll do that this year and like take out some of the heroes and then replenish them with like another 15 or something, we don't know. If they just keep them and they kind of expand on them all, then we're going to have quite a few, and they'll then be that phase where, unlike this time round, because it was the first time of having the promo, we didn't really get any trolls. You know, you didn't see a flag and think, oh, it's not going to be that guy. Whereas, you know, if it now happens, the chances are you probably will. Like
Mario Gomez
in certain leagues.
Rick and Cola being a Mario Gomez troll is the closest we got.
But yeah, then so we've got the full sort of release dates as well. So EA Play Early Access trial will start on September the 27th, and the EA Play Pro Ultimate Edition access on PC on the same day as well. FIFA 23 Ultimate Edition will have access on the 27th of September. The Standard Edition coming on the 30th. So people will have it for 3 days before, if they've got the Ultimate Edition. So that gives people time to, I suppose, open some packs if they're going to put points onto the game and build up the games, or whatever people tend to do, build up accounts, do the SBCs and transfer coins. However people manage to do it, we all know it happens. You see a team of the week going for 112k who's worth like 40. We always see it happen on the game. We know it's not. We know it's there. Now there was one that we spoke about briefly before we sorted out the topics for the podcast that is not actually an official thing. So I don't know if I want to mention it because technically it's a leak and we don't do leaks. It was so big when it first came to fruition that the whole kind of Twitter community and everything went mental, and it was the mention of Marvel Hero Hybrid. I think it was one that's tough to get away from anyway because it has been heavily linked, but if you actually go onto the EA FIFA 23 website, there is no mention of it.
Well, apparently the screenshot for it came from the actual EA website, but I cannot confirm or deny this because I tried to find out myself on the day that I saw this on Twitter, but I couldn't find an actual image of this on EA's website.
No.
But somebody did have a screenshot, but it could have been photoshopped of course, of like, I think it might have been a mobile phone with it on there, and then you can see like EA website text like beneath and below it.
Yeah, maybe.
So
we don't know. So
maybe
we don't usually do leaks, but I think everybody at this point, I mean, it went crazy when it first came out. Everyone was like, is this going to be where we get a special card Hulk in goal? I saw like a lot of memes about things like that, like how are you going to score past that guy, especially if it's patch 1 of FIFA 22 this year. But yeah, we don't know. It's not on their website. It's not official. Whether it's a mistake because they're releasing a new Marvel game and someone's gotten a hold of that with FIFA and, I don't know, like Mo said, maybe doctored something, we don't know. Crossplay is the other big thing, so it's just saying about essentially how after the trial this year, it is obviously going to be all pretty much online modes, and the transfer market will all be cross-play, and that there is an option there to opt out. So you don't have to be a part of it. So I suppose in that sense, you know, if you notice that you're playing somebody on Xbox, if there's a way to notice, say if it's got like the PSN or the Xbox logo next to him or a PC logo, and you play and you feel like your connection's not great or something's just not quite right in the gameplay, you will have the option, I suppose, to be able to opt out and just play against users on the same console. I think this is going to send the servers into meltdown when it first happens. I can't see how it doesn't, based on what we know just from when EA release a new promo at the start of the year, the servers go kaput. So who knows with this. Are you excited about this, Lou, the cross-platform? What do you think?
See, I think it's going to be like, you know, when you're going to co-op in FIFA and you can disable, like, you can go solo or duo. I'm going to guess it's a bit like that. I am looking forward to it a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think we all stream, right? I am new. But, you know, you go on some days and someone might want to play with you on, you might have a friend on a different console or something. It'd be good to finally be able to play with them. I think it's a good thing. Like you said, the server meltdown's the thing I'm worried about. Will the ping adapt, you know what I mean, across consoles? It's interesting to see what they do it on as well, because, again, I don't want to go into leaks, but you see things and you think, what's it going to be like? Are we going to have the option to play that against people? I'm just intrigued to see how they do it and how it turns out. I am looking forward to it, but I'm kind of skeptical at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of if are you referring to modes, game modes, or
yeah, game modes?
That is actually on here. That is everything.
Oh, is it on there now?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So it says that you will be able to play champs, online friendlies, online seasons, rivals, champs, and online draft. Yep, will all be cross matchmaking. So you'll get PS4 with PS1. Sorry,
PS1.
PS4 with Xbox One.
Yeah.
Cool. Imagine if you did it on the old PS1. That would be
Flashback
that would be
PS1.
crazy. Yeah. Especially like the pocket one that you could just about fit in your extreme baggy jeans that you had. Yeah, so PS4 and Xbox One. Then there'll be a separate one for PS5, the Xbox Series X, PC, and Stadia.
Yeah.
That will be separate as well. So, yeah, so it says, you'd be able to do it all, which is
let's
worrying.
just correct this. You cannot do it all. The best game mode is not getting any love yet again. Pro Clubs
Is it what I think
deserves
it
better.
is? Yeah.
Pro Clubs deserves better than this. If there's a game mode that needed it, it's Pro Clubs.
Yeah. I didn't want to say in case it was like came out as a leak, but I'm gutted. That's the one.
That's the one that's been
gutted
confirmed.
about.
I'm pretty certain it's not. It's the thing that they've not put in anywhere. Pro Clubs is not. I'm fuming.
I'm gutted about that.
I've played
that's
Pro
destroying.
Clubs in some shape or form since FIFA 12.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years. If there's a game mode that desperately needed it, it was this. It didn't need to be an ultimate team. It just didn't need to be an ultimate team at all. Not many people would have cared. Pro Club's the one that actually cries for it.
Yeah, I agree with this because, like I said, when we're playing games, you got both. You'll have friends on PlayStation. They've got their little group. You've got your little group. How cool would it have been to mix and match? It would have been. Again, you could have bigger teams. It could have just been so much opportunity. I feel like they've missed a massive gap there.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. Because for me, like I obviously came to PlayStation last FIFA.
Yeah.
I was on Xbox before that, and basically all my friends and my brother and that, they're all still on Xbox. They've gone to Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
So although since the new sort of update to be able to just play a friendly, or which I have done on FIFA, whenever I now come on and I'm not doing content stuff and we want to just play a game, it's basically, what are we playing then? Call of Duty? Are we playing PUBG? We're playing something cross-platform, and this isn't given as an option. And obviously we're looking forward to this being an option next year, but the last thing I really want to do is go and play champs or rivals against them. It's not, I don't want to be sitting there like, and we're playing like a super competitive thing. I want to play together in something, because apparently co-op is not going to be one of them. So you won't be able to do co-op objectives with cross-gen.
That's kind of surprising, isn't it? Because it works with co-op. I'm surprised it's not working with cross as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Going back, just quickly, I know you probably want to move on. Going to like when you're playing Call of Duty, I haven't played PUBG. It's mainly Warzone. If I do play a cross-play game, that's always fine. I know EA servers are built different, if we know what we mean, but I mean, hopefully they've cracked it. But
yeah,
we don't have any issues.
Yeah, same with
I think
Rocket League.
time will tell.
Yeah,
and
Fortnite
as well.
The other thing is the fact that EA haven't said it's with Pro Clubs just shows a bit more of their greed towards the cash cow mode at the end of the day.
Which isn't like as a surprise to us, is it?
No. You just see every year the customization and stuff. It's just so neglected compared to, like we said, the money maker. It's a bit sad, really.
But talking of money, the one place that you can at least save money on this game, if it works out the same as last year, which I'm assuming it does, is to have EA Play. So pay for you can pay for like a trial, I think, on you can pay for like a 30-day membership, then cancel it. You can then go through the game, I think, and it gives you a certain discount to buy it, and also find other ways. There are ways to save money. You'll find tutorials online, but basically you can get, I think, around about sort of 15 to 20 quid off the game if you do these methods. So at least take some money off EA by not having to pay full price if you haven't already pre-ordered.
Yes, so basically what you do is you go onto a website like CD Keys. You buy a £50 gift card and a £25 gift card. That will save you, depending, because I think on Xbox you can save more on their gift cards than PlayStation, because I looked into this last year. Then you load those up onto your console of choice. You get the month's trial using the credit, so that takes you down to 71 quid. I think it's $3.99 for the 1 month trial.
Yeah, something like
that. That will then get you 10% off the game. But first of all, what you have to do is you load up the game once you've got your credit and you've got the EA Plays 1 month. On the main menu, so not on Ultimate Team, on the main menu, you can see it straight away. There'll be like that normal little tab that slides across. It will say 10% off of FIFA 23 when you pre-order it through the menus on the game. So you hit your right analog stick in. That will then take you to your in-game store, whether that's on PlayStation, Xbox. It will then give you the option whether you want to buy the Ultimate Edition or the Standard Edition. On Standard Edition, you won't make as much money off because you only get like one set of 10% off. It's only on the Ultimate Edition that you'll get 20% off. So rather than it then costing 90 quid, it'll cost you £72.89 or something like that. You then pay the extra £1.89 because you've only got £71 worth of credit left on your console. And then bish bash bosh, you basically buy a 90 quid version of the game for I think it's approximately about 65 to 68 quid basically. So yeah, you save yourself about 22 to 25 quid off of the game. So yeah, it's well worth doing, guys. It's definitely a trick that you need to know.
Yeah. And even if you're just going to go and put that money on FIFA points, at least it's like free FIFA points.
Exactly, and you get 4,600 with the Ultimate Edition, so even more bonus FIFA points.
The tutorial we really need Mers when it comes out. He's out to find it on EA Play. Every year I'm stumped. I can never find that game. I don't know how people get it.
Mers is normally quick off the bat with that.
I know.
I'll be watching it. You want that 10-hour trial, by the way? I've got bad news for you. I've got bad news for you.
Oh no.
The 10-hour trial starts on release this year.
On the same day.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so when when Brad earlier said about like the PC version, which is EA Play, it's 27th. So yeah, that's also linked to the console version apparently.
Wow.
So
yeah,
so that's a bit of a bummer. However, hopefully, fingers crossed, we still get web app a bit early, so you can still maybe do the bronze pack method of USBCs and stuff. So
hopefully, I can pack Kante and Varane like I do normally. On day one, I think this year it was Benzema.
But yeah, that's all you need to know about FIFA at the moment. But there'll be over the coming month, and so they're doing individual notes, pitch notes, trailers, and stuff about each of the different elements of FIFA. So there'll be career mode, pro clubs, ultimate team, gameplay, hyper motion, engine details as well, 2.0. No. So yeah, as the weeks and months go on until FIFA 23, we'll give you more updates here on this podcast. But with that, we now got more transfer news.
Yes, we do. It's a bit more of a quiet week. A lot of teams have got their business done early. There's been a few confirmed transfers this week. So to touch on them, I've got them written on my whiteboard just to give us a fighting chance. So we've got Paulo Dybala confirming his free transfer to Roma. I think it's a good fit. I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty sure we
definitely
previously discussed it, but
I think they've done well.
Lou, what's your thoughts on?
I am surprised he hasn't gone to the Prem or La Liga. If I'm honest, I thought he might have come out of Italy, but I don't really watch too much Italian football, so I can't really comment too much on it. But like you said, he fits into that striker or 10 role with Tabby Abraham, so see what he does.
It's basically creativity of Jose Mourinho.
Yeah,
is sort of where it seems like a sort of good player to work under Mourinho, I reckon. But especially considering he won a European trophy last year, might have been the small one, but still, Spurs didn't get out the group stage in that, so we don't talk.
I mean, his celebration is more fitting for Rome as well. The gladiator celebration that he's known for.
Yeah, and with me slandering, a North London club have made a signing this week. Confirmation of Zinchenko to Arsenal has finally come through. Nice little utility player for you there, Mers. Nice cover for when Tierney gets injured, like he always does.
Undoubtedly, yes.
And it's better.
I think Zinchenko's probably hoping to play in midfield, and then week one, Tierney gets injured, and it's like, Zinchenko, can you play left back, please?
you think he's going to play there, Mers? Do you reckon he'll move into mid?
I think Zinchenko's always said, I think that's where he prefers to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, he probably end up playing mainly at left back when Tierney's injured, and then probably slot in, because the other thing is Thomas Partey is very injury prone as well, so he'll probably just be rotating between those two slots, like covering for them.
God, what will happen if both get injured? Where would he play then?
He has to run between both positions basically on the pitch, constantly trying to cover both.
Plays left wing back.
I mean, that's plausible. That's another thing that could happen, especially with the fact that we've got Ben White, Saliba, and Gabriel in that team. And it's hard to like choose between the three of them for like starters, but I feel Saliba definitely has to start, especially with his showing in pre-season so far.
Mm-hmm. Next, staying in North London, Jed Spence confirmed to Spurs now. I haven't got to see much of him. I don't think he was in the Asian section of Spurs' pre-season, and I haven't seen him since. So it'll be interesting to see whether he's first choice, whether he's sort of in rotation with someone like Doherty. But it's more depth which Tottenham need desperately. If Tottenham are going to, and I'm not saying they're going to threaten the top two, but if they want to try and be the team that steps up, the thing that's most intimidating about a Liverpool, a City, is the depth that they have in positions. So the
definitely.
quality of their starting 11 and then the depth they have to back it up. Spurs have got some quality players in obviously Kane and Son. They're trying to improve the starting 11, but also we're getting a lot of depth at the same time. Do I see anything materialising from it? Not really, no. Maybe just securing top four will be the aim, and God, please give me a trophy. It's been too long. desperately been way too long for that.
Didn't you win one in pre-season?
Oh yeah, no, we've done that. Done that a couple of years ago. Yeah,
there we go.
We've done that this year against Rangers. We won a memorial trophy.
That's good enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's better than the Audi Cup.
Yeah.
I still love it when people start bantering Spurs by it's only this. It's like, I don't see many Spurs fans going around celebrating this unironically.
At this stage, though, would you, as a Spurs fan, would you take like, say, coming like fourth but clear fourth, like so where we sort of see now the top two have been broken away from third and fourth? Would you be happy with seeing like third and fourth then being quite clear of fifth?
I'd always want to see Spurs being a secure team in their position. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'd happily see Spurs almost doing an Arsenal of just making sure top four, keep it rolling.
Yeah, Champions League, that's all you aiming for, isn't it, really? Anything higher than that's fantastic.
Pretty much. And it not being a struggle back basically down to the wire kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'd say our aim is. Get a trophy of any sort. We got to a League Cup final against City and then sacked the bloody... The only man who'd beaten him at the time. No, we don't need him. Ryan Mason. That's what we need. What we need is a guy that retired early, and that's all he's got to his name. Next up, though, is a man who's gone from Juventus to Bayern Munich. Matthijs de Ligt. Is this one we saw coming?
Yes.
Well, we mentioned it as a rumour last week because that's all it was at the time, and we were sort of discussing about how it's mad that like when you mention him that he's still actually only 22.
Really?
Yeah, no, he was 18 I think when he was in the Europa League final.
And that's exactly the kind of reaction. Like this guy feels like he's been around for like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's like you'd think, oh, he must be like late 20s now, but to think that he's now 22 and already he'd captained like Ajax and was, a heavy staple of their team for a couple of years. Now he's making a move, and then he went to Juventus. Now he's making a move to Bayern, and his career's barely even begun. Really, like this is insane. Like so, I think it's great for them. Like they've made a couple of really good moves this year in losing Lewandowski. They've certainly bolstered up in places. They've got obviously Gravenberch as well. So yeah, I think that they've made some good moves and got some exciting youngsters in their team now. So. That team was getting a little bit aged.
They're just preparing themselves for the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Bit, though.
The thing with Bayern, I'd like to say, is their centre backs. You can't really think of many this year. their main ones were Nicolas Sula, who's left on a free,
Mm-hmm.
and Upamecano. Outside of that, you're struggling. So
Hernandez,
if he plays there, yeah,
he does.
Yeah, because they have Pavard and the
they got a lot of players that can play.
Pavard and Alphonso
positions.
Davies, don't they? But yeah, exactly. Like I mean, Alphonso Davies can play further forward if they need him to, don't they? But it's not like they're short of wingers, I suppose.
Definitely not.
So in the space of a week, he signed for Bayern. He scored his first goal for Bayern. It's not a bad start for him.
No.
He's off to a flyer. And to be fair, Juve have lined up his replacement straight away, as they did confirm Bremer going into them from Torino.
Yes.
So I think that was about 30 mil. So I believe he was the best centre back, or voted best centre back in the Serie A last season.
Yeah,
Correct.
apparently so. Yeah.
Ahead of the likes of Tomori, Skriniar, Koulibaly, all who had good seasons. So this is very much a typical... This is the other type of typical Juventus signing. Normally, typical Juventus signing, you think, free transfer, sure thing. And this is the other one of poaching players from surrounding teams, almost in a Bayern Munich-esque way.
It's the kind of attraction of, come and win a trophy thing, isn't it?
You'd think they wouldn't have that pull, as much pull, considering
As
the
much
last couple
pull.
of years.
Yeah.
Because it's not actually...
Is he still
come from that.
Allegri that's in charge?
Believe so.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's still in charge.
I think that was the worst thing he could have done, was coming back. Look at Zidane. Like when managers come back, how many times does it actually succeed? As a general thing.
That is very true.
Zidane won 3 Champions League, comes back.
Mourinho at Chelsea, I think, is the only thing I can really think of.
That's a success. Yeah, that was winning a league title.
Yeah, but like you say, I think generally, if it's not ever a good, if it didn't work out, there's no reason to say why it did. Like, or why it would.
But season...
It's like insanity, isn't it? Definition, repeating something else and hoping for a different result.
Yeah, but that season 3 Chelsea return of Mourinho was definitely falling off the cliff.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. But I think they'll take the league title, especially considering the 9 Spurs.
Yeah, definitely.
So they'd have revelled in every sort of second of that. You mentioned him earlier. Lewandowski's left Bayern officially now. He has confirmed. I believe this is still this week's transfer. He's officially now at Barca. Their never-ending pot of money, never-ending amount of TV rights they're going to sell. Baffling in terms of their future decisions. I still think they're absolutely stupid. They are going to have to win everything in order to make this worthwhile, and even then it might not be.
I just don't see it happening either, if I'm honest.
No, not with the signings they're making. They're making okay signings, good signings, but it's just not. It's almost like stockpiling at this point as well.
Yeah, the thing is, you've got Real Madrid across the road. You know what I mean? They've had that team bedded in now for a couple of seasons, and they're just adding to it with like Tchouaméni and players like that. They're just building it. It's set, and they're just making it better.
Yeah,
exactly. And then when you think about the big competition, Champions League, that again, you're talking Real Madrid got to be favourites again for it. Bayern Munich again. Now you possibly got to put them in the limelight for being favourites to win that as well. So yeah, Barcelona probably doesn't even come close to that sort of conversation.
You always want to say Man City are the favourites for it, but then their pedigree is Tottenham-esque in Europe. So
yeah.
And let's obviously not also forget Atletico Madrid, the team that actually did win the league. They're now they're vying more for the fight at the top 2 than Barcelona are looking like they're going to. But yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Stranger things have happened, I suppose. But it just seems like I just think they're in a bit of dire straits, and I don't see how they're going to get out of it. Certainly not anytime soon.
Oh Christ, no.
Yeah, the thing is as well, they've bought through like the youth of Gavi and Pedri and players like this, and if they can't afford it, they're going to be gone.
Oh, of course.
And then you're starting again, aren't you?
Of course. And yet, like today, I read on the gossip thing, or the first thing on transfer rumours, which obviously we know can't, is a bit like everything. You have to take it with a bit of a pinch of salt. They're saying that Messi's career at Barcelona isn't over. Well, I mean,
I read that.
Whilst I'd like to think that is true, because it holds a place in his heart. He literally spent his whole career there, and only had to move because they can't afford to pay him anymore. Like it just makes me think in his what is left of his career, are you really going to be able to have the facilities to bring him back? Not sure. He's 35 now. Like, you know, has he got 2 years, 3 years at that kind of level of football? What are his plans? Does he want to, because he spent 21 years in Barcelona, is that where he wants to end up living the rest of his life? Does he want to go into management? I mean, there's so many things where I think, I don't know about that one. Like, yeah, maybe back in the day, you know, before what has come out about money troubles and having like this old saga with De Jong now, like needing to get rid of a player who doesn't clearly want to go, to make way for money. I just think I don't know. This isn't this Barcelona that he was at, and I just wonder whether they will be able to ever be able to find the means or ways to entice him back.
I think Messi's one of those players that will be able to play to any kind of level for another few years at minimum.
I'd say he's got 3 years in him, hasn't he? I think realistically at that level.
I think he could change position maybe if pace becomes an issue and become more of an attacking midfielder even, possibly, as he was previously a false nine. He's still got the ability on the ball to become sort of one of those experienced ball playing sort of playmakers at that stage. Yeah. So if he adapts his role and continues playing afterwards, who's to say he will? But it's something that I think that someone of Messi's quality, one of the best of all time, would easily be able to slot into. It's just whether he decides whether he wants to keep playing and almost devalue himself by keep playing, or whether he hangs.
And that's it. And
ends on a good
at the end of the
spot.
day, he's still got to earn money, hasn't he? You know.
I was going to say, what if an MLS or a Qatar club come in with absolutely stupid wage? It's got to turn your head, hasn't it?
Does Messi really need money at this point? It's my next thing. Saying the man still needs money. He's at PSG getting how much? I think that's paid for him in itself.
Yeah, but with increased money also comes an increased lifestyle change, doesn't it? I don't believe for a second he's sitting there putting money into his savings account. You know.
Even if you spent some of that money,
how much
you're still going to have a good amount of left over, and he's probably got an accountant who's going to help manage him.
Well,
because manage the
funds. He had one who wasn't managing it very well.
Saved him some money though, didn't it?
Yeah. Saved him some money, got him some prison time. Yeah.
Suspended sentence.
But yeah, he's gonna be well
gets
off.
How much a year?
He'll get along, won't he?
He'll get by. I'm pretty certain he gets.
He'll be able to shop the Tesco weekly. I think he'll be alright.
Just a $75 million salary. You know, he'll get by off that. 600 million net worth. I'm
Plus
sure it'll
sponsorships.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well.
I'm just saying the cost of living's going up, guys. That's all.
Will he be able to afford to get to training with these fuel prices?
Yeah,
he's certainly feeling the pinch.
Yeah,
Messi's riding the number 10.
The last confirmed, or not even confirmed at this point, this one's now getting into pretty much confirmed, is Koundé that I've got down here. So Koundé to Barca, he's seemingly rejecting Chelsea, which, that perfect link to Kante's off for another year now. It was on last year until deadline day, in which it went no, and they got Saul instead. That was great for Chelsea. That worked out really well.
I love that we're talking about another Barcelona potential transfer again straight away. So it was like, right, okay, so now who's going to make way for this guy? Like,
the person who I do feel really sad for is Frankie de Jong and how much he's owed in wages.
Yeah.
How much
How are you feeling? If
17 mil or something like that, I've heard it's a high amount.
How are you feeling though? They're saying, we've got no money to pay you, but we've just bought in 50 mil Rafinha, probably about 50 million Koundé. You're probably thinking, hang on a minute.
Lewandowski.
Yeah. Usman's got a new contract.
How much money's PK on? I swear he's owed even more money.
I mean, I've also heard that Christiansen and Kessie haven't actually been registered yet either.
I think they're waiting for. They was hoping De Jong would go because they was doing that with the Dharma. They was hoping Dembele would go last season to sign a Dharma, but he never went. So they had to. I don't know what you call it, like not sign them basically until someone else got injured or something.
Sorry, hang on. I need to just read this. I mean, this is purely paper talk on numbers now, but I'm trying to find the numbers for how much PK's owed, because I'm pretty certain it's something like 30 million. During the last 2 years on his contract, widely reported he's due 35 million, 40 million euros net from Barca. That's
Wow.
69 million gross that he's looking, that I believe he's owed. So outrageous behaviour. Bringing in a younger model in Koundé and binning him off at the same time whilst owing him a small fortune. Yeah, that sounds about right. And just looking at some rumours now of people either leaving. I'm now on Sky Sports to check out this stuff. So Juve are trying to get rid of Arthur and Ramsey. Ramsey looking for just to be straight up termination. And it looks like Arthur Mello, so the man who made way for Pjanic in what's, I think, the worst swap, not the worst swap deal in history. That's Zlatan plus money for Eto'o. But yeah, it's definitely a weird one, considering he was the future of Barcelona's midfield, and then they got rid of him as one of their only really sellable assets at the time, and then he went to Juventus, and now they don't want him.
Yeah.
And the
I don't
replacement.
know where his destination
And
is going to be. I've heard rumours Arsenal's one, but
He was previously an Arsenal target in prior years, I believe, but the thing that I find interesting is it says that Paredes from PSG is their replacement for those positions that they're targeting.
That's like for like, isn't it, really?
it's probably another player that won't play for them if he signs.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
We just signed Pogba, I mean.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting player. So, a man who I wanted to join Tottenham instead of Perisic, Philip Kostich. Supposedly West Ham have made a 10 mil bid for him.
Okay.
He's in the last year
Yeah,
of his
I've heard that.
contract. And even though Frankfurt are in the Champions League, because they won the Europa League last year, it looks like he might be on his way to possibly West Ham.
Don't think that'd be a good signing.
And they just lost Yarmolenko as well, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. Well, he's
Yeah,
got
'cause
the,
he went on.
he's got the sort of adaptability to be. He's played wing back. He's played on the wing. Maybe they're targeting him as a Cresswell replacement.
That would be
He's
left back though, surely,
Yeah.
rather
Left back
than
would be a
wing
bit
back.
extreme.
I'd imagine most of that's just to do with like the Europa League and all that, this rotation in the squads. I'd imagine that's probably number one reason. 10 mil for him, for his quality.
Yeah, experience as
Well,
well.
it's the final year of his contract that's the big reason it's so low in price, I think.
Yeah.
29, 10 mil. Top 5 European leagues, most assists since August 2018. Thomas Müller with 66, Messi with 57, Kostic, Sancho and Trent with 44. So
Okay.
he's tied top 3 since the start of the 18-19 season.
Pretty good
If they're bringing
statistic.
Scrimmer. If they're bringing Scrimmer, he's got a bit of a target to aim for as well.
So that could be definitely a threat if they decide to even play him left wing. And yeah, we're purely on paper talk now as Werner's rumoured to be returning to Leipzig. So I think that's as good a place to end it, with something like that.
We got a bit of time in the recording for a couple of quickfire Q&A questions, since we got a guest on. So I think we'll ask you, mainly you, Lou, some questions like getting your feels for FIFA and stuff like that. Your opinions, generally speaking. Have you enjoyed FIFA 22? I've got to say.
I think I think the content side of it's been very good. I think it's been very good this year. Gameplay, I think it's just hit and miss, isn't it? When you get a good day, you're like, okay, I don't mind a bit of this, but you get one of them days when everyone's stuck in mud and it's like, what have they done? What have they done overnight? But overall, I don't think it's actually that bad of a FIFA year. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people make out.
Oh, I think we need a food-based question, actually, thinking about this, and this will be open to all of us. Obviously, with the hot weather, we all tend to have ice cream or ice lollies or something like that. What are you guys' go-to ice cream / ice lolly? And if you happen to get if you go to an ice cream parlour, what's your chosen flavour of ice cream?
I mean, generally at home, I don't tend to have them much, but I have, when it's been getting really hot, I just buy, standard ice pops at home. because I find they're really easy to just quickly sort of get that chill that you need, just because things are suddenly really hot. So I'll just go for a really standard, flavoured ice pop. But if I'm out for a day at the coast, then I'll go for a whippy, without a doubt. I also get a mint put through the whippy.
Okay, yeah.
And then a flake, obviously.
Okay.
But if I was choosing the scoops, like you're saying about the flavours, mint chocolate chip has always been a massive favourite for me. I love it. It's so refreshing.
Not fruit and nut.
No, they don't do a fruit and nut. Well, I mean, most places probably do now, to be fair. But yeah, no.
Lou, what sort of ice cream or ice lolly will you choose at home, and then what would you choose if you're out and about?
See, I'm very boring. I just like, if I'm at home, standard vanilla. But I have got a weird thing I do, which I get absolutely cussed for.
Oh, here we go. This is.
I slightly microwave my ice cream.
Okay.
Okay.
You've got an
Just
interest
so you-
here.
It's just a little bit of softness, so it's not, rock hard out the box. I can't stand it like that. I'm gonna have a little bit softer. If I'm going out and I was there, Mr. Whippy again.
Yeah.
But I am partial to a cup rather than a cone.
Really?
Yes. I feel like you get more for your money.
I just love that final bit, that final sort of crunch, especially if you get one of them cones that have got
true.
like a little bit of chocolate at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we're talking.
That's very true.
That's interesting. I think, Lou, you might need to increase the temperature of your freezer. I think your freezer's too cold if
Like
your ice cream's
cement
coming
blocks.
out rock solid. I can't remember having ice cream coming out of my freezer being absolutely rock solid, like Ben
I
and Jerry's
like it a
or
bit
something like
softer.
that. Yeah.
Just like a bit of.
It also depends
Yeah.
on the quality of ice cream.
True. I am quite cheap.
Yeah, some of the cheaper ones do come out with basically frost on the top of them, and they are
Yeah.
solid as anything. But if you've got a nice brand,
Ah.
no, they do. They still come out soft.
Oh yeah, you got to buy nice brand when it comes to ice cream.
Yeah.
You want proper ice cream.
Yeah.
I mean, that cheaper stuff isn't really proper ice cream. It's just frozen
ice.
oil and stuff,
Yeah.
basically. Luke, what about you?
I mean, mine is a classic in both name and itself. It's a classic Magnum.
Good show.
Classic
Yeah.
Magnum for me at home. Maybe from time to time, like we have different ones recently. So we've had Cadbury's Darker Milk, or just a Cadbury's one. Recently, we've had another one you can't beat's a Feast. If anyone remembers a Feast,
I do remember a feast. Yeah.
that's a classic. But if I'm out, I'm, as you can tell, I'm a bit of a chocolate kind of guy. So that's if I'm going to a parlour, that's what I'm having. I don't apologise for how basic I am on that. Chocolate and vanilla, it is what it is. It's good. It's classic for a reason. Can't beat the classic sometimes.
What I will just see whether any of you guys flash back to this or whether this is showing my age, is when I used to, as more of a kid, I suppose, or teenager, when the ice cream van used to come, I used to love a Zap.
Don't recall a Zap personally.
Which one was that?
So a Zap is basically like a soft sort of milkshakey lolly. So it wasn't like hard like an ice lolly. It was like made of like milk and things, but it looked like a swirly kind of psychedelic milk lolly.
No, I don't remember them.
If you're able
Okay.
to look on your Google searches now or anything, you'll see what I mean. It's like multicoloured. And I used to love that back in the day.
I mean, the one I'd have from an ice cream truck if I'm having something is probably a bit different actually. Something we've not mentioned. I used to have a Snowball.
Oh
yes.
yes, definitely.
So a Snowball,
Now,
a
what
little
is-
bit of gum at the bottom.
Like that, yeah.
Ah, right,
And I'd have
okay.
it
Yeah.
bubble.
Wasn't that a screwball?
A screwball, wasn't it?
Screwball,
Yeah.
Yeah, snowballs were like-
Sorry, my
Screwball.
apologies.
When you said the
Yeah.
screwball, because that made me think
Offended.
of the marshmallow and coconut thing, I do have an oyster from an ice cream van, and that is like a cone shell with chocolate, marshmallow, and coconut with ice cream in it.
So yeah, I'd normally have bubblegum sauce with it as well. Just fully commit down that route.
Sent it? Jesus.
Fully send it. That's what I used to have.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very lucky growing up. Like the ice cream van, I kid you not, pulled up exactly out front of my house. Like it literally on my side of the road. That perfect. Like I've lived on a cul-de-sac for years, and it's pulled up directly out front.
Maybe it knows perfectly to pull
It
out in
knew.
front of your
It
house,
knew.
basically.
It just knew. And it was just get a screwball. Job done.
As for myself, I think at home it will be a cornetto. I think
Cool.
cornettos
Classic.
are like the god
What
tiers
flavour?
of. Admittedly, I tend to go for the own brand because some of the own brand ones have a sauce going through the actual middle of it as well.
Okay.
But if it was actual cornetto brand, it would either mainly be the strawberry one, I'd say, but I also do like the mint flavoured one. So it's one of those two, but strawberry first choice. Classico I find is a bit too boring in choice, I think. You don't really get much in terms of the flavour coming through for it. But obviously that bottom bite with that chocolate,
Yeah, that's the one.
It's heaven,
Yeah,
basically.
that is the one. That is the best way to finish it.
Yeah. And then if I'm out and about, I would tend to go for ice creams that have maybe got a caramel sort of flavour in. So I went to Cotswold Wildlife Park and they've got an ice cream parlour there. Had 2 scoops. First scoop I chose Millionaire Shortbread.
Ooh.
And the other scoop I chose Rocky Road. So they
Went
were
all there,
quite
Mers,
nice.
didn't you?
I do feel there's
Yeah.
something else I would have that I feel I need to mention. I think it's been discontinued, sadly, but Calipo shots.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
I think they have. I think they
Calipo
have.
shot. They were just the strawberry and lemon. That was me crying.
I just like the Calippo generally, to
I
be
like the
fair.
orange.
Yeah.
You couldn't
Again,
go
like
wrong
I
with
say,
it, really.
With a standard ice lolly or just ice pop like they were, you didn't ask for much. You just wanted, the nice flavour, a bit of coldness. You weren't asking for like the stuff like your Millionaire Shortbread ice cream. It was just a standard lolly. You want it as it is, for that purpose, and they were perfect. The other thing I think about as well, twisters. I love a twister.
Yeah, Twister.
Yeah.
No,
Big
not
fan.
too keen on
That's a
those
late
ones.
I don't think
Clipper
I've
I
ever
have,
had
but
one.
Twister.
What, a twister?
No, I don't think I have.
They're good. They've got strawberry in the middle, lime, and sort of a creamy kind of ice cream on the outside.
Vanilla.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only imagine now, like what lollies back in the day would be discontinued based on the E numbers they had. Like some of them probably only stuck together because of the E numbers they had in them. So I'm not surprised that some things are discontinued.
Then going back to a FIFA question for you, Lou, is what is your favourite card on FIFA 22 that you have used so far this year?
Ooh. See, I think we'll all agree here when we say Gareth Bale is unreal. But if I'm going for a card not too common, I love Pedri, team of the season.
Okay.
I love that card. He's brilliant. And that new Valverde right back is very good as well. The shapeshifter.
Do you play him at right back?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, he's overtook team of the year Hakimi for me.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big fan.
I think I was more digging for a CDM than anything else. Just trying to find out the level of toxicity inbound, but nope, it's past the vibe check.
I've just about clung on with me. I tipped my fingers. Yeah. We don't talk about the defence, but apart from that.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, still playing Andre Silva up front this time of years. still my kind of thing. It doesn't matter if I've got 98 Ginola. It doesn't matter. I've still got Andre Silva.
Committed.
Your super sub of dreams, yeah?
What, Ginola?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
No, Andre. No, isn't that where Andre Silva is mainly placed nowadays? Is on your bench?
No, he still sees some game time.
Okay. Yeah, off the bench.
No. Still see some game time. I'd say off the bench if it was off the bench. Sometimes it is.
Objectives.
I avoid doing it in objectives. If I have to quit, then that's a game added with nothing.
It's a safety
yes,
net
but-
card, isn't it? When you're 3-0 up.
Let's not slander this here. I'm not standing for this. I can destroy a lot of people still with Andre Silva. He still gets hat tricks for me.
One other question will be, what card would you like to be seen that come out as a Futties card? So whether that's an objective or they happen to win the vote, who would you choose?
Of the like any card in the game.
Yeah, any cards that hasn't realistically got a high up, juiced up card that you've enjoyed like early on, I guess, in FIFA cycle.
Well, I just gave my answer.
See, I'm gonna. If I'm going with me heart, I'm saying Ruben Neves because obviously I'm a Wolves fan.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what cards I was using at the start of the game, which I loved. I loved Road to the Final Jesus Navas, but he got a Team of the Season objective, so I'm kind of wasted. I'm gonna go Ruben Neves.
Okay, Brad. Do you want to chip in?
Yeah, mine was that. Obviously, was that Openda. Like he was just so good. It was worth like having to like pause the game and bring him on as subs to have him play my main striker up front. Considering the price of him, I just couldn't find anybody that was just as good and as accurate at that time of the game. Obviously now, if I was to try and bring him on, he probably does fall short of the pace. And I'm definitely not SPCing him. But yeah, it's just he was just at the time I needed to use him. The time that Squad Foundations SPC came out, he was insane for me.
Was it even an SBC?
Yeah.
It was around the same time with like the Anthony and stuff.
Chong
and them. Yeah.
So why did I think he was like the main one you could get from the objective rather than actually the SBC?
No, he is an objective. He was one of those league objectives.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
And then he had a Player of the Month come out.
He had a Player of the Month, yeah, but that was like lower rated, but had some higher stats like pace and something else.
Yeah.
I think the objectives was the centre back from Sporting. Rafa was in there, and was it a Turbo?
Probably another Pedro Porro, because
not a Turbe. A Turbe is the former winger for Roma, isn't he?
No, the CDM for Porto.
Uribe. Yeah, Uribe.
Yeah, I think that was the three.
Oh yeah, Uribe.
So that was some of the objectives, yeah.
I think for myself, I'd want to go with an Arsenal player, and I think I'm just going to go a bit out there and actually say a centre back and say I would like to see Gabriel as a Futties card or something like that. Another Brazilian, perfect week for it, but yeah, if not Ben White, I guess will have to suffice. I guess in a different. An all England week or something like that.
Sorry, they already did Nketiah and Smith Rowe last year, mate. Can't repeat that.
We had the Chelsea duo this week though. Last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was kind of coming, wasn't it? Based on not being able to give them special cards for a while.
Oh,
I think that was inevitable.
Three in a week.
Like something that I've thought as a possibility today, I did a concept on, is potentially Pogba with Rabiot. I could see that happening because Pogba's only got the 90 rated wild card. It seems like that he would be the perfect person to get a really extremely boosted card, and I don't think Rabiot's had anything this year, has he?
No, he's 81.
No.
Yeah.
81,
I think it's 81, yeah.
So I could see them doing like a CM Pogba with a CDM Rabiot or something like that, maybe. Because by this time we would have had like a very high rated Pogba card, and we haven't yet.
That is very good. That is a good shout, I guess.
He normally gets cards if they when they FIFA. He got the Summer Heat back when it was Summer Heat rather than Summer Stars. He got the FOF cards during the Euros.
Yeah,
he's always got something end game at that point in FIFA.
But that is going to be it for the questions for this week. So Lou, thank you for coming on this week's podcast.
Thank you for having me. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. You will be able to find Lou over on Twitch as he streams several times a week. He is also on TikTok, and I believe you've got a YouTube channel as well. Is that correct?
It exists.
It exists.
Is there anything to see on there?
There is
okay,
content.
That's fine then. That's fine.
There is content.
There you go. Even if it's old content, it's still content.
Yeah. It's still there.
Yeah.
It's nostalgia factor right there.
Nostalgia.
But yeah, I'll put all his links there down below, and I'll also put his social media on Twitter link down below as well. So please feel free to check him out. He's a sound guy, even if he's a Wolves fan. But
it's ruined my experience, that is, Mez.
Getting beat by an Arsenal fan, jeez.
Yeah.
I can't say
That's
anything.
normally my job.
But yeah, feel free to check him out. And also make sure to check out all of our solo content that we do as well for myself, Brad, and Luke. All links are down below. And Luke and Brad, thank you for participating in the podcast as always.
Always a pleasure.
And we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Bye.